I want to take you on a journey. And it's a journey, a reflective journey, because it's what I've just been through. And I think it's so important that I decided to do a long form YouTube video. I don't think I've ever done one before. As many years as I've been out here, never. But this is important enough. This is a big enough message, and I'm still processing it. So, this has been a crazy week for me and my entire extended family. Last week, my former brother in law passed away at the age of 66 from Parkinson's and a million other things. And he was a really great guy. And he is one of three boys. The middle son, Sandy, and the oldest was my first husband, Paul, who is now in a memory care unit. That is not why I divorced him. He has dementia now, but that was not. We divorced like 30 some odd years ago. And he's been in this unit for about 6 months. But he's a really great guy, and I love him. And he and I have two children, and we have grandchildren, and then he has two other children that I have emotionally adopted as well. Last week, Mark died, and I found myself with my former sister in law at his bedside after he passed away, waiting for the funeral people to come and take the body. How I got there, I want to say I really don't know, other than what I kind of want to talk to you about. So hold that thought, okay? How I got there. You know, people came to the funeral that I hadn't seen in a long time, 20, 30 years. I mean, it's amazing that you can live in the same town within miles of each other and not see anybody. It was really beautiful. The love, the compassion, the conversations. It was so beautiful and unique. As emotionally draining as it was also emotionally draining. It was also emotionally lifting up because the energy was extraordinary. Uh, there was I became the fixer. I became the matriarch. I found myself taking care of things. There was nobody else. There's no grandmother. There were no aunts. They're not. People have passed away. My ex-husband, who was the oldest, would normally probably have been more in control and supportive, but he's not available. And I am. And so I, along with the middle brother, kind of stepped up. But of course, he had a lot more going on than I did. I was just in the background. It's important for us to hold spaces for each other. I mean, you don't need a special title to do something. You don't need a special title to be somebody. You don't need it. All you have to do is just love people and be available. We need people to shepherd each other. We need people to give a little tap or a little nudge of support. That's what I did. I did that the whole time, and it was amazing. So, the other night I took a yoga class, and my yoga teacher said about her own week that it was one heck of a show. And I'm like, it sure was. I had a shit show, and I had an Academy Award thing going on at the same time. I can't even begin to tell you. I mean, how that happens, and maybe some of you have had that experience before, the duality that occurs, and it's okay. I had to check in with myself when I was laughing or feeling joy. Like, is this okay? Should I be just totally upset? But no. Mark, the gentleman who passed away, lived every day like it was his first, not like it was his last. He lived every day with compassion, with humor, with integrity. So why not the rest of us? Why not all of us? And I find this thing about love needs a lot of patience. So what I saw was years of sending a little message to somebody. That's what I saw. Because I saw that I would send a little message to a member of this family, just thinking about you. It's been a long time. How are things going? just here and there, not even any schedule, not like anything, a Christmas, a Thanksgiving, a Hanukkah, a Valentine's, a little message here and there. Those little messages, do you know what they do? They change everybody. I saw the reality of all of those little teeny things that I have done along the way and that other people have done along the way. I saw them come to fruition, and it was extraordinary. I saw people connect that don't even like each other, but do now. I saw futures being made in front of my eyes. It was magic, and you cannot deny it. When you love people, when you love somebody, it's amazing what can happen when you love and when somebody feels loved and seen. And I just can't talk about it enough. I don't even know how to talk about it so much because it is such a profound conversation. And when I say I was the fixer and I became the patriarch, matriarch, it's the truth. And I didn't even identify with it until close to the end of all of the festivities. I'm Jewish, so there was Shiva and all of that. And if you don't know what that is, I'm happy to tell you in another just comment, and I'll tell you about it. I didn't know what I was doing. I just led with my heart. I had no idea what I was building. I had no idea how people would like it or they wouldn't like. I didn't even care. I just led with my heart. I did the best things I could do as a support, as a 71-year-old mother, grandmother, aunt, cousin, whatever. And there it was. And I watched it and I'm like, wow, this shit really works. So I want to impress upon you to love the people that are hard to love, or the people that you don't even think want love from you. Love them anyway. And it doesn't mean that it takes away from what you normally do. It doesn't mean that they're going to like it, but love always works out in the end. Sometimes you may not even see it working out. You may hear about it, or maybe not even in your lifetime, but it can't be wrong. There is no way in this world that loving somebody can be wrong. No way. And so, this whole family was like we were like a tree trunk with all kinds of branches and all kinds of roots going in all kinds of different directions. And all I did was just help manage it. And it worked. And at the end of the day, the healing from the death was accelerated. And not to say that we're not mourning. Everybody's mourning. But why can't we mourn and still live? I mean, and nobody can tell anybody how to mourn. Nobody can tell anybody how long it should take or what it should do or what it shouldn't do, all of those things. This is a big loss. And losses are, whether it's a stranger that you just met and touched your heart, or it's your best friend or your parent. These things are hard, losing people. Even when people talk about, they're in a better place and all that stuff, that's great, but it doesn't always make the biggest difference. What made the biggest difference here was just us all coming together and being able to share memories, talking, loving each other, and just seeing what each other needed. And that's what everybody did. But sometimes it takes a person to show how it can be done. And that's what I did. I showed people how it could be done, and I didn't even know I was doing it. And it was hard. Somebody once said, you do certain things to put hair on your chest. Well, let me tell you the fact. I may not have hair on my chest, but I certainly had the creeps, the willies, the chills, and lots of fear. But then I started seeing how what I was trying to do, what I was doing, was supporting and helping. And I saw how things blossomed, that I just wanted to do more of it. And my doing more of it means coming out here and telling you. There may be things that I have missed in my reminding myself of this journey and sharing it with you. But the important thing is that you don't give up on people, even when they slam the door in your face. I've often in coaching practice, I've had families, let's say, um, parents who don't talk to their children, or children who don't talk to their parents. And I would tell you, don't give up if that's your situation. No matter what that parent or child says, just keep being consistent and sending a card, making a phone call, even when they slam the phone down. Little bits make a difference. Maybe it's a colleague, maybe it's a former sister in law, brother in law, your ex husband, whatever. Just keep showing up. You know what's so interesting too? And my ex husband and I have always pretty much gotten along. Do you know he knows my name? There's a lot of names he doesn't know. There's a lot of people he doesn't know, but he knows mine, which is amazing to me. And you know what's even more amazing? Because of love, he knows my mother more than he knows anybody, and she's 100. He'll see her come into the facility where he's living, and he'll go, Gigi. He won't even talk to me, but he sees her because she has loved him and has touched his soul. And his soul knows, even when his head doesn't, when his head is kind of messed up right now, his heart and his soul knows. That's where you want to get to, my friends, is to that heart and soul. Don't worry about what the head says. The head is always going to, not always, the head is going to say, no, be angry. That's your ego. But if you get to the heart, it bypasses everything else, just like in his dementia. People will say when we go to visit him that he's so appreciative and he's kind because he's always been that way because that's his soul. That's his heart talking, not his head. His head, can't talk at all, but his heart and soul still can. And it's saying love. And so please do your best. If there's somebody in your life who has been a prick, love them through the prickness. If there's somebody who's just been silent, love them through the silence. you know, just do it and you will see magic coming from them and you will feel elevated. You will feel like you are levitating. So I'm going to be done now because if I keep talking, this won't be right. So I'm going to be done. Please comment, share. I love to have conversations with anybody and everybody about anything because life is tough. But we have choices and we have ways of making it easier for ourselves. And it's all about love. And I know that sounds kind of woo woo and all kinds of like, oh, no, she's talking about this, but it's the truth. Okay? So I love you. I do. And I see you, even though I don't know you personally, I feel you. I really do. So reach out anytime and love away, friends.